Have you ever come across a plant that looks like an animal's tail? Or a tree suspended in the air, its roots not even close to the soil? How about the one that bursts into flames if a matchstick gets too near? These aren't myths or AI visual effects. They're real things. And today, we'll look at the 15 strangest plants so unusual they feel like they've been shipped in from another planet. So, let's begin this countdown with Number 15. Kerosene plant. The kerosene plant, or as known to botanists, the Dictamnus albus, holds a pretty peculiar reputation. In the peak of summer, it emits a transparent, flammable oil. If a match is held near, the vapor ignites with a quick blue flame. Yet the plant itself remains unharmed. Stand beside it on a windless, hot day, and you might notice a faint lemony scent rising from its petals and leaves. The invisible oils hanging in the air are highly reactive. It is native to parts of Asia and Europe, and this plant blooms with pale pink or white star-shaped flowers, streaked with purple veins. Historical texts from the 1700s describe its flaring behavior. Naturalists even used it to entertain audiences with its odd ability to briefly catch fire. Gardeners love its strange beauty, but those who know what it can do keep a careful distance. Though science has named its active oils, like isoprene, watching a living flower burst into flame still feels completely unreal. Number 14. Cannonball tree. This isn't just any tree. It's one of nature's loudest secrets. Named the cannonball tree, it got its name because its massive fruits drop with a deafening thud, often echoing over 100 meters away. Native to South America, it's also found in Sri Lanka and parts of India. The cannonball-shaped fruits are rock solid and can weigh anywhere from 3 to 6 kilograms. But while the fruit smells awful, the flowers are something else entirely: fragrant, stunning, and unique. They bloom straight from the trunk and thick limbs in deep reds, soft pinks, and glowing yellow tones. Their scent is strong and sweet, often carrying through the air for long distances. That contrast, rotting fruit and divine flowers, makes the cannonball tree unforgettable. Some call it sacred. Others just call it shocking. Its presence is overwhelming, its behavior dramatic. 1 part perfume, 1 part explosion. It's a tree that doesn't grow quietly. It demands your focus. Number 13. Hairy tree. Have you ever seen a tree that looks like it's wrapped in thick animal fur? In certain parts of Mexico, this strange sight exists, but what appears to be fur is actually a living swarm. These aren't hairs. There are thousands of harvestman spiders, also known as daddy longlegs, clinging tightly to the bark in dense masses. From a distance, the tree's surface looks soft and fuzzy, but up close, it's a writhing community of legs and bodies. The spiders group together during the heat of the day to avoid dehydration, predators, and harsh sun. If the bark is disturbed, the entire layer shifts at once, creating a ripple that looks and feels alive. Locals are familiar with it, but travelers often freeze, horrified once they realize the tree's fuzz is a mass of living creatures. Videos of this phenomenon have gone viral, showing the skin-crawling moment the fur moves. It's both mesmerizing and deeply unsettling, a natural illusion hiding in plain sight. Number 12. Water tree. There's a tree in the world that, when wounded, releases water, a phenomenon so baffling science hasn't fully cracked it. In Montenegro, one such tree constantly leaks water from its bark. Even more bizarre, it dries up in winter, then flows again once summer heat returns. Watching it stream clear liquid from its trunk leaves onlookers speechless. A similar tree was found in India's Papikonda forest in Andhra Pradesh. When cut, water gushed from it in full force. Locals say it stores moisture inside, and nearby residents often collect it to drink. The water reportedly has a slightly sour taste. This species, known locally as the Indian laurel tree, can grow up to 30 feet high. What makes both trees especially odd is their seasonal rhythm. They act almost like natural fountains that turn on and off. Though theories exist, no one truly understands how or why. These aren't fairy tales. They're real trees hiding real mysteries. Number 11. Laughing tree. You won't believe it, but somewhere out there grows a tree that reacts to touch, not with movement, but with trembling branches, as if it's being tickled. Locals call it the laughing tree. Rub your fingers along its bark and you'll see it shiver, branches lightly vibrating in response. Scientists believe the reaction may be caused by subtle chemical signals from human skin interacting with the surface of the tree, triggering a sudden imbalance within the plant's structure. Others think it's a natural reflex built into the tree's fiber, but there's no definitive answer yet. What's clear is that it draws crowds. Tourists travel just to press their hands to the bark and watch it quiver. There's no sound, no voice, but something about it feels playful, even intelligent. The way it responds, soft, almost bashful, gives people chills. It's become a local wonder, not for size or color, but for this mysterious little gesture, a tree that reacts like it's alive and aware. Number 10. Monkey tail. High along Bolivia's craggy cliff ledges thrives a cactus that resembles a swaying animal tail more than any desert plant. Known as the monkey tail cactus, it grows thick, trailing stems that stretch up to 8 feet long, draped in soft white fuzz that shields it from blazing sunlight and freezing nights. During summer, it explodes with vibrant red flowers that attract hummingbirds in the wild. Collectors pay steep prices for mature specimens, and it's become a standout in botanical shows due to its surreal, almost animal-like silhouette. Though related to the golden rat-tail cactus, its bristles are denser and silkier, giving it a lifelike flutter in the breeze. Images of overflowing hanging baskets lined with these tail-like stems often spread fast among rare plant communities. It's one of the most coveted oddities in exotic horticulture. Half cactus, half creature. The monkey-tail cactus doesn't just grow, it performs, captivating anyone who sees it move. Number 9. Jaboticaba tree. The jaboticaba tree is unlike anything else. Its fruits don't grow from the branches like most trees. They sprout directly from the trunk. From the roots to the thickest parts of the stem, clusters of deep purple fruits cling tightly to the bark, making it look like the tree is covered in beads or pushing gemstones out through its skin. Native to Brazil, it shocks nearly everyone who sees it in person. Some even assume it's fake, photoshopped or digital art. The fruits themselves are sweet and tangy, with juicy white flesh that tastes like a blend of grape, lychee, and jujube. The tree matures slowly, earning it the nickname time traveler tree. Its fruits spoil within hours of harvesting, so Brazilians eat them fresh or turn them into juice, jam, and natural remedies for asthma, diarrhea, and throat pain. The sight of the fruit-covered bark is unforgettable. A living, breathing sculpture wrapped in edible jewels. Now, let's head over to Number 8. Squirting cucumber. Across warm Mediterranean landscapes grows a small, odd-looking plant with one of nature's most dramatic defense tricks. Called Ecbalium elaterium, or the squirting cucumber, it produces green, oval fruits covered in fine bristles. Once ripe, they're under so much internal pressure that the slightest nudge, or even a strong breeze, can cause them to break free from the stem and fire their seeds outward in a slimy burst. That blast can launch seeds over 20 feet, hitting anything in the way with sticky, bitter juice. The name Ecbalium comes from Greek, meaning to throw out, which perfectly captures its explosive method of spreading seeds. But beware. Every part of the plant is toxic. Its sap can irritate skin, and its juice should never be ingested. Farmers familiar with it avoid touching it directly. Still, it fascinates botanists and travelers alike. a plant that doesn't drop its seeds gently but blasts them like a built-in biological cannon. Number 7. Floodweb trees. When catastrophic floods swept through Pakistan back in 2010, people weren't the only ones scrambling for higher ground. Millions of spiders were forced into the treetops to escape the rising waters. Once there, they began weaving. Within days, entire trees were encased in thick, ghostly webs. From a distance, they looked like eerie cotton sculptures or haunting alien forms. These silk-wrapped trees became a surreal fixture in Sindh province. Locals said they had never witnessed anything like it, branches so tightly cocooned in webbing that even the leaves were hidden. In some areas, the webs trapped massive clouds of mosquitoes, which ironically helped reduce malaria in the aftermath of the floods. Photos of these strange trees spread across the world, leaving people stunned. Some even thought the images were altered, but they weren't. Standing beneath one of these web-covered giants felt like being inside a science fiction dreamscape. It was real, it was terrifying, and it was unforgettable. Just look at it. Number 6. Doll's Eye Plant. In the shaded forests of eastern North America grows a plant that looks like something out of a nightmare. Known as the doll's eye, Actaea pachypoda, it produces clusters of white berries, each with a single black dot. From a distance, they look disturbingly like human eyeballs staring from crimson stems. Its eerie appearance isn't just unsettling, it's dangerous. The berries are highly toxic to humans. Ingesting even a small amount can cause severe reactions, and in some cases be fatal. Birds, however, can consume them without harm and help spread the seeds. In the 1800s, this plant was often featured in botanical gardens as a curiosity, an example of nature's darker design. Today, hikers often stop mid-step when they spot it, torn between awe and discomfort. Standing beneath its shade, the doll's eye plant doesn't move or make a sound. It just watches. A silent, poisonous reminder that nature's beauty sometimes hides a threat. Number 5. Shampoo ginger. In the steamy tropics of Hawaii and Southeast Asia, a curious plant grows that hides its secret inside glowing red cones. Known as Zingiber zerumbet, or shampoo ginger, this plant sends up leafy green stalks, but at the base, it grows cone-like bracts that start off green and ripen into glossy crimson. When gently squeezed, they release a sweet-smelling milky sap. Locals have long used this natural extract as a shampoo, skin moisturizer, and mild antiseptic. It blooms late in the summer, and from between the bract's scales peek tiny yellow flowers. Even after being cut, the cones can continue producing liquid for weeks, almost as if they're still alive. In Hawaiian tradition, the plant is also used in leis, not just for fragrance, but for its symbolic meaning of cleansing and healing. There's something surreal and oddly satisfying about squeezing a flower and having it fill your hand with fragrant, ready-to-use shampoo. Number 4. Dragon's Blood Tree. On Yemen's remote island of Socotra grows a tree that feels stolen from a fantasy world. The dragon's blood tree, Dracena cinnabari, has a thick umbrella-shaped canopy that shields its own roots from the sun. But what truly sets it apart is what bleeds from inside. Cut the bark, and it oozes a dark red resin, called dragon's blood. For centuries, this resin has been treasured. Romans used it as a dye and medicine. Medieval alchemists believed it held magical power. Today, it still appears in traditional healing and varnishes. The tree's wide, high canopy is an evolutionary adaptation to trap moisture from dew and mist, funneling it back down to the roots. On Socotra's alien-looking landscape, groves of dragon's blood trees resemble towering green mushrooms scattered across stony hills. From a distance, it looks like an ancient, petrified forest, but it's alive, resilient, beautiful, and like nothing else growing on this planet. Number 3. Whistling thorn tree. Found across the savannas of Kenya and Tanzania, the whistling thorn tree stands out not for how it looks, but for the way it sounds. Known scientifically as Vachelia drepanalobium, this tree produces small, hollow bulb-like swellings next to its long thorns. When wind passes through these hollows, they whistle, a high-pitched sound that echoes across the open grassland. These bulb structures are also home to biting ants. In exchange for shelter, the ants fiercely protect the tree, attacking giraffes and elephants that try to nibble its leaves. The tree also feeds the ants with sweet nectar from tiny glands near its thorns. It's a rare example of plant and an insect working in harmony. From afar, the tree seems ordinary, but as you approach, the wind hums through it, almost like the savanna itself is singing. Along with its pale yellow-white flowers, it's a haunting, beautiful survival machine that defends itself with music and soldiers. Number 2. Greenbird flower. Across northern Australia's dry, open landscapes grows a plant that seems like it's covered in tiny green hummingbirds. Known as the green bird flower, Crotalaria cunninghami, each bloom looks just like a miniature bird in flight, complete with beak-shaped petals and wing-like curves. From afar, it's easy to mistake it for a tree full of hovering birds. The flowers grow in vertical clusters along tall, upright stalks, and while birds aren't the ones pollinating them, bees are, the illusion is convincing. Indigenous Australians have long used parts of the plant to treat eye infections, giving it practical value alongside its visual charm. Once the flowers fall away, they're replaced by narrow seed pods that dry and rattle in the wind. In fact, the genus name Crotalaria comes from the Greek word for rattle. Watching a row of these flowers in full bloom feels strange, like stepping into a world where plants briefly borrowed the shapes of birds. Number 1. Tree in the air. A strange tree swinging mid-air recently caught global attention. Now known as the tree in the air, it stands inside an old temple in Jhansi City, Haryana, India. What bewilders people is that the tree has entirely separated from the soil, its roots are nowhere near the ground. Yet it still thrives, full of green leaves, growing as if rooted deep. From the front, it appears to float. Locals consider it divine and tie sacred threads around it, believing their prayers will be granted. But no one can explain how it manages to survive without physical contact with the earth. Some say it's a miracle. Others suggest an unseen structure or ancient technique might be at play. The mystery still sparks arguments among visitors and scientists alike. How can it live, detached from soil? Even today, theories circulate, but none are confirmed. Regardless of belief, this tree remains one of India's most quietly stunning anomalies. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, share it, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you very soon.